Jorge, first of all, I wanted to congratulate you on something. I feel like when a fighter retires, you're right. I feel like when a fighter retires and they start a promotion, everyone kind of expects it's like a one and done, like, oh, they're here, they're going to try it, and then they're too difficult and they'll leave. We're building something with this, I feel like.
You know it, man. We're building something strong and for the masses, and something, very niche. Now, everybody might not be everybody's cup of tea, the Bareknuckle, but it's something that's strong, and then when it bites and you're like, holy smokes, this is crazy level of entertainment. This is different. There's so much more tension in the air when these guys are fighting. Besides, it smells like iron because you smell all the blood in the air. It's different, and it's the closest thing to real combat, which is something that a lot of people love, including myself. So I'm just, stoked to put these on, man. And we're getting great feedback from the athletes where I thought they might be a little hesitant. And that was before this fight. After this fight, I think everybody's going to be reaching out,
So it's funny you say that, right? Because I think fans gravitate to something that they know the guys involved in it are loving, right? Eddie Alvarez recently fought Chad Meadows in a bare-knuckle boxing match, and the first thing he said at that post-fight press conference was like, I thought I loved MMA, but this is as true sprint combat as you can get. I was talking to Dan Hooker the other day, and he said, when I heard that, it made my ears tingle, and I think, that's what I'm missing from MMA. I've done MMA so long, now I want this new buzz. When you're dealing with the guys after they leave the ring, they've come from MMA and they go do bare-knuckle and they leave the ring, are you getting that same feeling from them?
Yes. We're also getting young guys that got 3-4 fights that are fighting bare-knuckle, so I'm getting all the mixing reviews and opinions, but definitely it's just like, every day you go swimming in the pool and then your coach tells you, today we're going in the sea though. There's waves, there's animals there, and I'm not trying to diss glove fighting because it's still some of the baddest shit I've ever done in my whole life, and just regular fighting is amazing. I love it. Just bare-knuckle's a little different for the actual athlete himself, so it wakes him up to another extent. Like, you don't want to get tired in bare-knuckle because they're going to fucking take your eyebrow off, they're going to rearrange your face, It's different, man. It's more of a cold shower than a regular MMA fight,
When you are on the other side, you're not competing, right, but you're putting it together. Talk to me about the experience of, I put these two athletes together and they just put on a banger fight, and that's because of me. What sort of buzz do you get off that?
I mean, like I said earlier, I've worn all the hats in MMA. Referee, cornerman, training partner, holding the bucket, you name it, I've done it. Competed myself and promoting. From all these things, I've gained knowledge and experience. Also, I know how to work with the fighters. So when I sit there and I think, what are some of like the fucking fights that I can make everybody? I want you to go every time you read it, which I know when you saw this you go, nah, there's no way, for real. What's it? Huh? How? Those are the reactions I want. I want people that know about this sport, that are actually diehards of the sport, going, damn, that's a fucking fight. I want to see this thing. So that's the first thing that I think, like, how could I get myself to cough up that hard-earned money, And so when I put the cards together, I think, man, yeah, this is something that I'd pay for. So that's one way I start building out the cards. And then when the fight actually turns out fucking amazing, it's the best feeling in the world. When we had Roy Nelson versus Dylan Kleckler, that fucking fight just solidified like all my events in MMA bare-knuckle. Like, that fight was the epitome of just from start to finish. Got in each other's faces. Guys are trying to kill each other, and then all of a sudden it just ended before you even knew. And the way it ended, it was more bloody than anything I've seen in a while. So I love it, man. And we put that fight together. We had another fight. The individual got hurt. We booked another person, so the individual got hurt. So now when we finally booked that fight, we were like 2 weeks and 4 days out from the event day. That's literally when it got booked. So we were confident in it. We thought that we had a horse in the race. But still, with the preparation time and all that stuff, we just didn't know, and thank goodness everything came out perfect. And that was one of the best main events I've been a part of,
And this funny thing, right, with the promotional game, there's also X factors. There's weird shit life throws at you. So with this fight, right, JDS Verdum, banger fight, hardcore fight, and then for some reason Francis Ngannou just shows up and goes, hey, I'm looking for contenders. It suddenly adds a whole level of gravitas to your fight. Obviously you don't really care about what goes on in another promotion, but just for your own fight, people are now going to be looking at it because there's an extra thread of story to it.
Well, that and not just Fabricio Verdum and JDS, which are some of our higher-ranking heavyweights, but Roy Nelson's also signed to us. We have a promotional deal with Roy Nelson. That's another heavyweight that's a mean motherfucker. We have Dylan Kleckler. Alex Nicholson will soon be competing in America. Again, we're looking to sign him. There's many heavyweights. Carlson Manutafa is another heavyweight that his record is not the greatest, but what you see he's done his last 6-7 fights, he's made vast improvements, you know. So we got a lot of guys at heavyweight that we're building out. I think before the end of the year we'll have like maybe 30 to 40 heavyweights signed, and that's not an easy thing to do in heavyweight in the sport, you know. Especially in Bareknuckle, but we're actively searching for guys, you know, at all stages, the top of the stage, middle of the pack, beginning of the stage. I think we're going to have a thorough heavyweight division, middleweight, and welterweight division as it seems right now, and 145, you know. So those are the weights we're going to be focusing on a lot this year and start crowning guys next year, you know, getting some championships in there.
I want to ask you a couple of things outside this while I have you, just to get your take on some of the things going on in the sport. Today it was reported by Ariel that Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury are going to meet. Apparently there's rumours it's going to be a weird exhibition fight with no knockdown rules and things like that. In your mind, do you kind of feel a little bit like I feel, like if you're going to do it, just do it?
Yeah, I do feel like that, you know, like fuck, what are you talking about, exhibition matches and you can't punch full power? I don't know what that means. What I wouldn't mind though, what I think would be very fair to an extent though, is like, I understand no grappling because Tyson doesn't have a lifetime of doing that, no jiu-jitsu. But one thing that I think could even up the factors a lot is just allow kicking, make it a kickboxing match. Pay these guys their millions of dollars. Why can't they make the same money in kickboxing? They can, you know. So it wouldn't be a hard thing, and it would be a lot more even for Ngannou and give him a chance to win just by adding the kicks, you know.
If they're going to do some weird rule set, I wouldn't mind boxing, but full boxing, but with MMA gloves. Like maybe that's quirky enough. But I don't like this no knockdown stuff personally. But you know,
I don't know what the real rules are, but a lot of
maybe I'm going to get proven wrong if this is not true and they actually do fight. But outside of that, John Jones, friend of yours, Stipe Miocic, I know a guy you got a lot of respect for. They're going to fight. Kind of weird that these two massive heavyweight fights are getting put on the same sort of day. When you look at that fight, do you think that's a case of if but the announcements came the same sort of day? You know what I mean? But is that the fight, John and Stipe, where you look at it and you're like, GOAT beats the GOAT, they're the true GOAT? You know what I mean?
Yes, no. You know, they're both kings, man, at their weight classes. Like what Jones has done is, I don't need to talk about it. It speaks for itself. And Miocic, two-time heavyweight champion, beat some of the best heavyweights in his time, you know. So, man, that's like you said, a GOAT versus GOAT fight, you know. I kind of feel like in a way it doesn't really, like, if Miocic was to lose to Jones, it'll hurt his legacy maybe a little bit. But if Miocic wins, obviously, it's just like, holy smokes. The first guy to beat John Jones, it's just crazy. So, shit, man, just thinking about that fight, I think that's another fight that could have the components to be one of the best fights of the year, you know?
Thanks very much for your time. I look forward to watching Paul Daly box in London.